Morning. It's Tuesday, August 15th, 2023. I'm Larissa. This is my video diary. It's time to drink from skulls. Yeah. Time to drink from skulls. Oh my God. So, my driveway is back intact. My hedges are trimmed. Thank God. Some more weed whacking that could be done. But, it's a little late in the season to be weed whacking. So, anyway. Yeah. So the Maui wildfires are wildfires. The Maui fires are dominating my newsfeed, and so many people. Wow. And while I still, am concerned for for that community, and my heart goes out to them, I also, you know, am aware of media exploitation, right? Using it as an agenda to push mental health, right? People down there don't have mental health problem. They've just been through a tragedy, a traumatic tragedy. It's not a mental health crisis. Grief is not mental illness, right? So I have a real problem with celebrities and governments using this as an opportunity to push the mental illness thing to medicate populations, particularly populations in places like Hawaii, where there is a very recent, right, governmental shift. There are people alive who still remember the last queen of Hawaii. So there's a lot of layers of politics, right? Where there is culture that is other than Christian, or I should say, other than the mainstream religions, right? Whether they're Abrahamic or Vedic or whatever, right? And you're dealing with pagan religions, right? I'm not saying I'm going to join any pagan groups anytime soon. I'm saying that there needs to be a recognizing and a recognition, that's the word I'm looking for, recognition of and honoring of separateness, or the existence, of, and it's okay for other religions to exist, right? Religion is frequently part of, or is part of the the base of culture. So when you're looking at cultures, you're looking at religious belief, you're looking at language, you're looking at shared cuisine, and um, arts, crafts, music, and dance, right? Yeah. And so I have a real problem with pathologizing culture as a way of homogenizing or globalizing. I have a problem with that. I do. I really do. And I acknowledge it and I see it. So, to the people of Maui who are going through this very, very difficult experience, you are not mentally ill, right? It is okay. It is appropriate for you to grieve, right? It is healthy for you to grieve. This is not an issue of mental health, right? No. See, they call it mental health to make it sound like healthiness. But what they're really talking about is pathologizing culture. So when people come in, they want to talk to you about your mental health, you need to question the agenda, right? Because, once things are a little more stable, you get a few months out and nobody wants to see the video anymore, and there aren't news cameras and celebrities there and all this stuff, right? You're still going to have the reality of your day-to-day life, and it's still going to be hard, and you are not mentally ill, right? You are having reasonable response to an unreasonable circumstance. That's not mental health, right? So, issues of mental health, organic brain issues, brain chemistry issues, like with paranoid schizophrenia, or um, no, there's others too, but they're not as common as what the media and the government would like us all to believe. They're just being used to herd people in fear and mass medicate. And once they say you have a mental health concern, then they can use that to justify taking away your rights, your constitutional rights. So be careful with that. It was a big red flag. Big red flag. See Oprah down there with people, mental health. Oh, we. Oh, really? I didn't know Oprah lived on Maui. I didn't know she lived and worked there. She's just down there, right? She's just down there. She liked to vacation there, huh? Right. And I am not, Oprah's a generous person and gives a lot of things to a lot of people, right? I'm just very, 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 very skeptical. Very, very skeptical. But I don't want to talk about Maui anymore. I don't want to talk about it anymore right now. What else in the news? What else in the news? I didn't talk about the assassinations down in Ecuador. South American politics are crazy, huh? Yeah, they sure are. Well, yeah. What else? Crazy stuff in Niger still, right? Hmm. So, today, be able to go into the gallery today. Yeah, it's the first time in a long time that I haven't gone in at all for 2 days straight, huh? Mm. People are like, "You coming in?" Getting texts from people. You coming in? I'm never open on Sundays. Well, not never. Only I'm open on holidays and special for special events on Sundays. But my regular hours are not on Sunday. I'm closed on Sundays. And I'm closed on Mondays. Sometimes I'm around, but I'm closed. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Where am I? I have a life. I have things I need to take care of from my own life. Right? On the other side of my life, I should say. My business is part of my life. It's my life. Yeah. Anyway, this T-shirt, Slice of Life. This restaurant was a vegetarian restaurant in Sebastopol. It's best vegetarian restaurant. I don't know if it's still there or not. It's not the same as it used to be. The guy that owned it sold it. He'd had it for a really long time. He's the guy that opened it. It was in the little shopping center, the like only little shopping center that's up there, where the Whole Foods is in Sebastopol. When you come in off 12, you kind of hang to the right and do the loop around in downtown. Right there, there's a little shopping center. It had a coffee shop. It had a couple or had an art gallery in there. It had the Whole Foods. It had what else was in there? Was there a hardware store? No, the hardware store was further up. The hardware store was further up 116. What else was in there? There were a few things. Might have been a jewelry store in there. Had a parking lot. That's what differentiated it from the main street down there. Anyway, this little restaurant, Slice of Life, true vegetarian. It was vegetarian and vegan, and it was good. It was good. They had cold brewed coffee. They had air fried French fries, long before air fryers were a thing, right? Um, they had pizza, and their pizza was decent. And they had veggie burgers and macrobiotic bowls and sandwiches and eggs and burritos. And it was a vegetarian restaurant. It was a vegetarian restaurant. Didn't have to worry about anything, you know? When I went there, I didn't have to worry about anything. And the food, like I said, the food was good. It wasn't gross. A lot of times you go in places and it's just like, ew, what is this? Slice of Life was good. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the last time, I can't remember that guy's name. I can see his face, the guy that owned the place. I went in there, it was after we had moved out of the North Bay, after we moved to the East Bay. I was up there for something. It was probably for some dance thing. Went in there. Yeah, I had gone up there. It wasn't for a performance. It was for like I had to go up for something else to getting ready for the performance. And I went in there to eat. And he was sitting there and I was talking to him about his coffee and stuff. And he told me, he's like, oh, I'm selling the place. I said, oh, bummer. I said, is it going to be the same? He's like, I hope so. He says, I think so. He said, they said they're going to keep it. They're going to keep it the same. But, so I don't know. I think I went up once. I think we ate there once after he sold it. We went there one of the times we were up there for one of my actual performances. Stayed over and whatever. We went there one time after it was sold, and there were some things that were changed, but it was still basically the same menu at that time. They had really good soups. Yeah, there was another place up there, East West Cafe, but they also had meat on their menu. But that was another restaurant that had a comprehensive vegetarian selection. Right, it wasn't just like two items on the menu. But there again, East West, they were a little pretentious there. Sometimes it could be hard to get a table. Yeah. But the food was good. They had two locations. They had one in Santa Rosa, and then they had the original one in Sebastopol. And Omar and we went to the one in Santa Rosa frequently. It was close to where we lived. It was in the same plaza as the Rialta art film theater, Rialto. They closed that. They closed that while we were still living up there. Yeah, so I'm just thinking about stuff I need to do. I got vinyl lettering for my window finally, so I can wipe the drippy looking chalk stuff off the window and put up my vinyl lettering. You know, I got vinyl lettering for the wall where I have something written, the definition of one of. So I need to paint over that. I'll need to prime over it because I painted it in black um, paint, uh, paint marker. So I'll have to prime over that and then repaint, and then it has to dry all the way, and then I can put the vinyl lettering up. So probably paint that today. What else? I don't know. After I do all that, then I will mop my floor. Yep. My Crimson Tide is done, so I can yoga again. I don't know. Yeah. So August is already halfway over, huh? I need to get my next e-newsletter out. Yeah, I do. Soon, I should be getting the September issue of the quarterly soon. Yep. And I'll need to start, once that's done, then I need to start the push for um, the next one, the January one. Yeah. Anyway. Anyway, yeah, this issue, I used all my political cartoons that I drew. So I have to draw some new political cartoons. Because I don't know if I'm going to get any submissions or not. Maybe I will. Maybe I will. Maybe I will. Maybe I will after people see all the ones that I've drawn. They'll be like, oh, maybe they'll have some ideas. They'll be like, oh, I could draw one. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah. This little bug, little grasshopper, little grasshopper. He was so cute. He was so cute. He was walking around. He was taking a stroll. And he crawled up on my hand and up on my arm and stuff. He was so cute. He licked his feet before he walked on me. I'm like, oh, you gotta wipe your feet first. Oh, that's very sweet of you. He was all tickly. He was like running. He was going real slow, and then he started running up my arm. I'm like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna get in my hair? What are you doing? So I went, blew him off my arm, and he went, ooh, took a little tumble. And then he was like, oh, oh, little grasshopper. Yep. And last night, we made some flatbread on the barbecue, and then I barbecued a bunch of sweet peppers, and then sweat the skins off, and I have them packed in a vinaigrette, right? Herbed vinaigrette. Well, it's mostly oil, but there's a little bit of lime juice in there and some herbs and spices. And then we did some barbecued some mushrooms too. And I have those packed in oil and herbs and spices. So Omar can have those to make himself sandwiches, and I can use that stuff in making other stuff because I have collard greens down there and I have some Brussels sprouts and anyway. So yeah, for making meals after work that are easy, and the stuff I have left over from making lunches for the guys, I put those 2 loaves of bread in the freezer because we don't use that sandwich bread fast enough, right? And I like making the flatbreads because then I use those flatbreads in other um, with other meals and things, like I might slice up veggies and do, a topped flatbread, or, using flatbreads for soup to dip in soups and things. So the flatbreads are a little more versatile than sandwich bread. That sliced sandwich bread is good for lunch meats and things, but I don't eat lunch meat, right? So yeah, that's my story. Made a batch of flatbreads and a jar of peppers and a jar of marinated barbecued olives. Yeah. And then and then I barbecued some tofu last night because I needed some protein. I ate some tofus. There's little bits left down there in the fridge. Chop those up. Yeah, barbecued tofus. It's good. I like barbecued tofus. Yeah. World's a crazy place. It really, really is.